Hello everyone, this is Mustafa Ghiaswan with the third session of programming ArcObjects using C#.NET. From the previous sessions, we learned how to read object model diagrams and the meaning of different types of class, relationship, and interface. In this session, we're going to write some code to read layers in ArcMap application and then learn how to add an interface window to ArcMap application. We will use a UID class to read a specific type of layer. For example, UID for vector layers or raster layers or maybe cat layers and so on. For this session, you need to have access to some vector layers, or you can download the data from the channel. Let's start with coding in Visual Studio. Visual Studio and a new project, C# programming, ArcObject, desktop add-ins, and then select ArcMap add-in. Our directory and then the name of project, because I want to read the layers with UID. I mean blue layers with UID. Okay. ArcGIS add-ins wizard is okay, and next. Add-in type, I select button. Class name, again, blue layers with UID. And the caption, you don't have a limitation in caption. And then select the image of button. Let's select the layer image, another image, and then finish. Okay, here is XML file. You have to write our code in class.cs, name of class.cs, and write our code in onClick event. From the previous session, we know our start point is ArcMap.application. It returns Esri ArcGIS.framework.application. It returns a reference of my application interface. ArcObjects developer help. Select ArcObjects reference, ArcMap, ArcMap contents, class A, application class, ArcMap, implements my application interface. Here is my application interface. The members of my application interface. And then diagram, ArcMap object model, ArcMap object model, here is application class, and here is my application interface, list of properties, and then methods of my application interface. And remember, we use document property in our application, which returns document interface, which is an interface in MX document. So if you want to read the layers in active data frame, you have to go through application class, MX document class, map class, which is data frame, and then layers. So our first step is read the reference of iDocument. So I have to declare an object of iDocument. Document is not that's correct, because maybe we don't have access to iDocument, the reference of iDocument, maybe we have not used it here. the reference of iDocument interface, developer help can find it, iApplication and iDocument property. Click on it, which returns iDocument. Application.document returns iDocument. iDocument interface is in sReactGIS.framework, so we need sReactGIS.framework namespace, and we have it in here. So we just need to using sReactGIS.org. Here iDocument, and then iDocument ArcMap.application.document property, which returns iDocument. Okay. Now we are in ArcMap UI object model. Need to zoom in. Here is MX document class, which is map document in ArcGIS. The interfaces of MX document, IMAP document, iDocument, and so on. And here is iDocument. But if you want to go to the data frame or active data frame, we need to use the maps or focus map property. So the focus map property is an ArcMX document interface. So we need to again query interface from iDocument to IMX document interface. We have a pointer of iDocument, but we need to obtain a pointer to IMX document interface. So at first, I need to declare a variable of iDocument. The Visual Studio is error because there's error because the reference IMX document is not added, but the reference IMX document is in ArcMap UI. So we just need to using ArcMap UI. Again, here is correct MX document, and we need to pass iDocument MX document. IMX document to IMX document, and then assign to MX document. With MX document, which is a pointer to IMX document, we have access to focus map, which returns pointer to IMAP interface. But from the previous session, we know IMAP is in Carto layer, and here composition relationship. There is composition relationship between MX document class and data frames. So let me open the Carto object model and then zoom in. Here is MX document class in ArcMap UI, and here is map class with the default interface of IMAP in Carto. So we need to, at first, I have to add using sre.arcgis.carto, but we don't have it here. So I need to add a reference of sre.arcgis.carto. Right click on references in the name of project, and then add reference, extensions, and sre.arcgis.carto. Here is, and then check and select open button. Here is sre.arcgis.carto, and we just need to using the sre.arcgis.carto. Now we have IMAP. Here is IMAP and map, MX document, and then focus map. Okay, we read map document, and then activate the data frame. Now we want to read all layers in a specific type, for example, vector layers. All my layers are vector layers, yes. Let me to add a layer with other type. Base map layer, for example. Okay. Let me to load the base map layer. Here's it is better. Okay, let's do saving. And let's continue with our coding. In the previous session, we used property of layer, the map class, to read a specific layer, for example, first layer, with the index up to 0, which returns I layer. In this session, we want to use layers property. Layers property takes two parameters, with the type of IUID and Boolean, and then returns a reference to IEnum layer, which is a interface. Let's talk about these parameters. The first parameter is type of IUID. IUID is an interface of a UID class in Esri system. By UID class, we can say we want to read raster layers or vector layers or any type of layer. Let's open the Esri system. Where is his system? System object model. And then zoom in, and here is UID class in Esri system. Reference namespace and the default interface of IUID. IUID interface has two properties, and the second is a value, which takes variant. Variant means object in C#, means every type. And we want to set a string that is the UID of vector layers. We want to read all vector layers in data frame. So here is our first parameter, and the second parameter is Boolean. We want to say, do you want to read vector layers or any type of in a group layer? Do you want to read group layers? If you set true, you will be able to read layers in all group layers. And IEnum layer is an interface, Carto namespace, at the bottom of first page of Carto namespace, interfaces, and some interfaces you can find here. IEnum layer, which has two methods, next and reset. The first method, next, returns a reference to I layer. Actually, IEnum layer provides access to an enumeration of layers. The next method returns the next layer in the set, and the reset method resets iterator to the first layer in the set. Okay, let's continue with our coding. Here in the I want to use a layers property which returns IEnum layer. So at first I declare a reference to IEnum layer. IEnum layer map dot layers takes the parameter UID and Boolean. At first, I have to declare a variable of an object of UID class because it is co-class. 3D box and shaded in, we can create an object of UID class by new. So IUID. If you don't have this IUID, you need to import every system namespace. We have a system namespace here as the ArcGIS system, so just we need to using it Esri system, it means system. IGIS UID new UID class, and then set the property of value. Remember, set the property of value, which takes variant. It means every time you can set the value. So what is the UID of vector layers? In the group help in cartoon namespace, the class of map, the class of map class, IMAP interface of map class, and the property of layers. Here is the UID of feature layer, which is vector layer. I'll tell you what in the next session. Vector layer means feature layer. Just copy and then just retype and set the value. So now we have UID object. UID object is ready, and then recursive parameter. And the second parameter, we want to read the vector layers in group layer, even in group layers. So I set true. And we have a, remember in the previous session I said when you want to use properties that take parameters in C#, if you want to get value, you need to type get underline for the name of properties, and here is IUID. You need a cast Esri.ArcGIS.Esri system.IUID. Okay, where is my mistake? Oh, here it is, Esri system.UID. Okay, now we have enum layer, which is the iterator of layers, and we can use two methods of enum layer to read the layer. At first, iterator of enum layer points to the before the first layer. So with the use of next method, we can have access to the first layer with first method. So if you want to read the first layer enum layer dot with use of next method, now we have the first layer. So before using the next method, in an iterator of enum layer points to before the first layer. Okay, if we want to read the name of all layers, we need to use while statement. And we know while a statement executes a statement or block of a statement until a specific expression evaluates to false. So we want to read the name of all layers until the layer is not null. Read the name of layer. For example, at the end, we want to go to next layer. So enum layer dot next. We have to read our code here. In the first session, we used a message box class to return the name of layer. In this session, it is better to use another class. In SOA system, maybe I want to use a class of iMessage dialog. iMessage dialog, maybe it is in framework object model. Framework, yes, here is iMessage dialog interface of iMessage dialog. iMessage dialog is a co-class, so we can create object of the class by new and with just one interface iMessage dialog and just has a one method, two model. Okay, I need iMessage dialog. Okay, message dialog new message dialog class, and then message dialog dot title of it takes 4 parameters: the title of window and message, and the caption of OK button message, and the caption of cancel. It takes 5 parameters. And then HWND, I'll tell you about HWND. The title of message is layer names. Our message is the name of layer. Layer dot name. To layer. The page of tree. Layer. The enum layer, we have access to layer. Property of name, we can get the name because here is solid format. The caption of OK, OK, and the caption of cancel, and HWND. We need every time you need HWND and you are developing ArcMap application, you can set it with 0. It's not a problem. HWND means what's the position related to ArcGIS, and the 0 is enough. Okay, let's test our add-in. Can be added to adding contours, categories, adding contours with a caption of loop through layers with UID. Let me to close the ArcMap application and build a solution. Okay, no problem. And then open the ArcMap. Okay, here is section 3, base map layer. Okay, I open the customize window. I double click here and then create new bar with the name of section 3. Okay, here is our toolbar. And then drag and drop in the category of adding controls. Look through layers with UID. Here is our toolbar. And then click, and I expect to read the all vector names without base map name. Here, fire station, again the box with layer name title and the name of layer as a message. Hospital, library, highways, streets, parks, lakes, shoreline, but not base map layer. As a result, we can get all vector layers in the active data frame. Also, if I create a group layer here, right click and then group layer, because we set the second parameter of layers property of map class to true, we can get the layers into group layers. So when I click again fire station into the group layer, hospital, library, and so on. Okay, let me to tell you about the into XML files. Close here, and about message and tooltip. Message and tooltip. Look at here for identify tool in ArcGIS. Identify here is tooltip, and identify geographic features by laptop is message for every tool or button. So we want to set tooltip and message for our tool. Tooltip here in XML file. Let me layer names. Layer names with message of look to layers again. Look to layers. Let me close the my session and then build again. Succeed, and then open ArcMap application. Session 3. Let's to load data, and here you can see tooltip and message. Okay, let me to show you how we can show the name of layers into a user interface window, like select by attributes window. How we can add the name of layers into the combo box, and the user can select one of them. Let me to show you add a user interface. Close the ArcMap. The first step is add a user form. Right click on name of project and then add Windows forms. FRM layer names. Layer names is better. Layer names. You can set the properties of layer for layer names here. Okay. We set the text of form loop to layers, and then set the border of form border style to fixed size. Fixed to is better, and then add a combo box here for the name of layers, and then a label to the text of list of layers or layers. And then add a button for now it is just close. It's in a close, and then text close is enough. Okay, let me to show you how we can show the layer names into the form. It's just enough to on the click button to show the form. So we have to declare an object of form layer names. frm layer names. frm layers, and then new frm layer names. frm layers dot show. We don't need these codes here because we want to show the layer names to the when form is loaded. So we need an event of form which is load. You can double click here or the list of events of form here and load. Double click here to write your code in the event of load. Write in the new function, for example, private void. Okay. Load layers is better. Here, and paste all of code here. Just on the unclick event, we can show the form. But we have some errors because we need to using related namespaces here again, and we can just do it by click on iDocument, for example, and then here, and then using ArcGIS framework. Okay, IMX document again, click here, ArcGIS ArcMap UI. Using this ArcMap automatically, and then IMap ArcGIS Carto. Here it's ArcGIS Carto. Now UID using Esri ArcGIS Esri system, and so we don't have any errors. But we need some changes because we don't want to show the name of layers. Not into message dialog, but we want to add a combo box. Here we can name it CBO layers. Okay. CBO layers dot items dot add layer dot name the property of name of layer before the while. Let me to clean the CBO items dot clear is better. Okay, let me to run it. We need to call the message into the load event of 4. Let me to build our project and then open ArcMap application. Okay, session 3. Okay, here is our form with a list of names of all layers except base map layer. But we need some changes. We want not to allow user to type everything here. Of course, when the form is loaded, we want the name of first layer to be selected here, like select by attribute window, street. Let me to give you the changes in the form and select combo box and then change the property of drop-down style to drop-down list. So the user cannot change cannot type everything here. And then here, when we add a name of layers to combo box, and then if CBO layers dot items dot count greater than 0, select the first item. Set the 0 to the selected index property of selected index in CBO layers, and then build again. Then open ArcMap. Session 3. Okay guys, this was our third session of Introduction to Programming ArcObjects.